Alright mud lovers, this is where I'll be mudlarking today. The thing you can see in the river is the start of one of the shafts for the new Thames Super Sewer. The current system, designed by Joseph Bazalgette in 1860, can no longer hold all the waste created by 8 million Londoners compared to about 3 million when it was first built. So at the cost of about 4.2 billion, a new one is being built right now to replace it. There's my mate Rich, already started, so let's get down there and see what we can find. The idea being, with all that digging they're doing to create that shaft, it will hopefully disturb some items and wash them up on the foreshore for us to find. Here's Richard with his Equinox. Very fancy. Equinox versus Goldbug. Got a 5-inch coil, which has got 11-inch coil. So obviously if you've got a smaller coil you're going to get in between the trash, but then Richard's got a bigger coil so he might cover more ground. Well, one signal there and another signal there. I'm going to try and do a live dig. Right, I think I know roughly where it is. Do that look out the way. Let's get in the sun. Right, let's see what it is. A little ring thing. Oh, it's quite old. I think it would have been off a utility belt or maybe a clothes fastener or something. You'd pull the cord through, or you fabric through the hoop and then put a pin through it to hold your clothes together. Oh, there it is. Oh look, there's a button just there. How weird's that? Look, didn't even use a detector. Oh, it just goes to show you, didn't it? You don't need a detector to find the stuff. Good old eyes only. New City, looks like it says New City Old something, but I'll check it out and clean it up and tell you what it is. You can see the amount of destruction that's been made to this area. All that lovely brickwork is now exposed. But I don't think there's anyone doing any archaeological recovery of anything. They don't really care what gets dug up, thrown away, never to be seen again in these barges that take it all away. So I'm thinking the least we can do is find the odd things like these little buttons and bits and bobs and preserve it and save it from being destroyed. Richard just found this little coin. It's like a halfpenny, George halfpenny.
Oh, balls lying around as well.
So let's have a quick look down this. I love a spooky tunnel. Hey lads. So I thought I'd have a quick look down this spooky tunnel and see what's down here. I think I'm going to stay in the middle, where it's... Well, if you could, it smells really, really damp and quite stinky. But this is Joseph Bazalgette's original design of the sewer. You know, I think this may have been an overflow out there. So imagine if it's had a really bad rain in the last few days, these doors will be pressurised, opened up and letting out all the rainwater. See, Richard's a bit too scared to come down here, but what could be so harmful about them? Two huge doors that could just burst open at any moment and let tons of sewage and rainwater drop down. Nothing. But built in 1860, he needed to find a solution to the great stink, so he spent a lot of money, 6 years in improving the sewer system of London, and it's served very well up until now. And unfortunately it's reached a time where the population of London is so big, it's just not doing as good a job as it used to. So now we're paying, well, we've got to pay 28 billion or 2.8 billion, I can't quite remember, it's a lot of money. Let's see what's down here. Oh look, it's a secret room. Oh look, there's a... I can't see anything. Hopefully it's not a great big hole down here. Whoa! Oh look, it goes up to the street. Oh, we can see up there. Oh, I can't see anything. I'm just looking in to see what's in these little corridors. Now I've got my torch out now. No, it just goes up to a ladder. I'm making sure I don't step on a... Oh, there we go, yeah, it just goes straight up to a manhole cover. This is a view of London you never thought you'd see. Anyway. Just set up what I think is a pretty cool find. This is what I believe to be a possible dagger shape. And what would happen is this would be at the end of a sheath to hold a dagger, so the dagger wouldn't go through the leather and ruin your sheath. So this would have been attached to the end, and you can kind of see where it's curved in. And I found one similar. I don't know if that's right, the back should be flat or not. See how it's flatted at the back? But then maybe it was designed so it would sit against your leg so that it wouldn't, you know, so it would sit flush against your leg. So, yeah, I'm not sure what that's made of. Probably just copper, I'd imagine, but I think that's a dagger shape. Mudlarking crow. I'm sure he's just after food. It looks like he's mudlarking. And it's turning over a rock. You found much, mate? More than you. Oh, he's found a coin. He's looking under the rocks. There's actually freshwater shrimp a lot around here, so sometimes when you turn over a rock you'll see loads of squiggly shrimp trying to escape, so I think he's looking for those. Or maybe sometimes you find a worm, or possibly a leech, or maybe even a baby eel if he's lucky. All these things, you know, because the river used to be, as we all know, the great stink. It was disgusting. It was full of raw sewage, and the place was toxic. But now the river's getting healthier. It's attracted more wildlife and even mudlarking crows. I hope they've got a permit to be mudlarking. I've spotted a little coin. See if you can find it. I'll give you a couple of seconds, see if you can spot it. It's right in the middle of the frame, so I'm going to zoom in slowly and see if see when you can spot it. Ta-da! Looks to be Elizabeth. It's quite a nice one. Ship's halfpenny, 1954. So hopefully you'll have your permit, because we do get the river police coming up and down. Hopefully you've got your permit, because they're always watching you. Just seen this. It's not complete, but it's quite cool. I thought I might see how it comes out. Pop it out. Because it's still got the cork, or the glass stopper. So if I give it a little wash, you can see that that's quite nice. So that's still got the. So you find these glass stoppers, and it comes out of this sort of Victorian bottle. You see the applied lip on there, so it would have been quite an early bottle. You can see a little bit of where it's been hand blown. And if I probably pop it out, there you go. You can see a little bit of the I don't know, imagine that's a bit of rubber or a bit of cork. Just keep that in, and that's what we find sometimes. Just these on their own. So it would have come out of something like that. And look, just sitting there, I didn't even touch it. There's another little glass stopper. That's cute. Or blue glass. Aqua, maybe, aqua glass. Seen a little pipe in there. Just going to see if it's any good. Thought it might be broken. Nice heel on it though. I'll put that back and someone else can find it and probably love it more. Yeah, this structure reminds me a little bit of Oak Island when they talk about the money pit and all the timbers they get put together to create shafts. And there's quite a few nails around here as well, like the big, huge steel nails, which they found similar ones on Oak Island. You can see how they would have been used. Look at the size of that. And the tips they look pretty crude. You know, so what's the way they've been bent into shape or been hammered into the logs. You know, obviously handmade and made in around 1860 when the tunnel was made and the sewer was made. So we know that those sort of nails, and those nail heads, around that sort of time. I'll take you down here. And you can see the sort of nails that they used then. Some of them have even got square like bolts or something at the end. You can see a little thread. So I can't actually see that what that was, but some are nailed like that. Yeah. Look at that. Massive hand forged nail. With a crude tip, it's been smashed to bits to get it in. Crazy, there is no floor left. Getting chewed up every day. Those teeth marks. Wonder how Rich is getting on. So what's a good signal?
It depends, really. Obviously the same as you, like, you know, the double beat, but it needs to be solid. It'll scream out at you like a solid tone instead of screaming, you know, like this scratchy kind of sound.
So isn't 20 silver?
Anything from 20 on. What? Have you got a coin? Oh.
Yeah. Sounds like someone blowing a panpipe.
Yeah. That's like the Pied Piper. Like a button.
Oh. That's quite a solid tone, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to do a live dig with the Equinox and see what it finds on the Thames. Richard's got a beast in his hand.
Let's jump to that one. Only 21. Could be something. Yeah.
The thing about detecting is you never get your hopes up when you find a signal, because chances are oh,
Silver. I'll leave it for the next one.
yeah. Leave it for the next generation.
Future find.
That's alright though, that's the sort of size you're looking for, isn't it?
Yeah.
And could have easily been a coin.
It's not too bad down here, it's not too noisy.
No, I find it, yeah, it's quite quiet, I reckon. The 11-inch coil is perfect,
Yeah.
I think, and it's definitely up on the beachy bit.
Yeah.
Have you noticed the difference between dry sand and wet sand, or is it always...
It's always the same.
It's always wet, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't get a chance to dry out too much, does it?
Big jumps it off. So it's either going to be a regular shape or it's going to be something rusty.
I reckon it's going to be a 2p, a modern 2p that's shagged.
Yeah.
Oh,
10p.
10p.
Nearly though. It's not bad. It's not a valuable coin I found today.
That's a Freddo right there. Well, they might have gone up by 10p. I think they've gone up to 20p a Freddo now.
Yeah.
These are the finds of the day. Quick scan. I'll go through mine first. It's not a great deal of stuff. Victorian pin, toy cartwheel, that bottle you saw, leather shoe, coins, little buttons there with the make colour, quite cool. J Hodgson Company from Woolwich, T Logan, Rye Lane, wherever that is. Might do a bit of research, find it out.
Rye Lane, Peckham that is.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh. Got a few little bits of pottery. Teacup handle, ointment pot, bit of china. There's something on there. Go little bits. Tusk, horn. Best find for me was this little, right at the end, got a little silver button. And it's engraved. It's really thin though, so it's lost its back, but I'm happy with that. It should clean up alright, and oh, don't lose it again. But the other thing we find is these oyster shells. And some of them are solid, but a lot of them have got these holes in. And some are square, and some are round. And why do you know why, Rich, they got holes in them?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe these birds have pecked the oyster out.
Oh, some pretty determined. There's all sorts of theories about them, and I want to know what the answer is. But some people say that they were used to get the oyster out. Like you're right, they whack the middle with a chisel or something and get the oyster out. But if you do that, you end up with loads of shell in your oyster. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that is. Some people say that it's a parasite that bores through or bores out. But then why is it always in the middle, and why do some look definitely square? There's other theories about they've been used for roofing. Maybe if they've got to pack the roof tiles up in certain places, they'll put these under. Don't really believe that. There are also examples of houses with these on the outside to use as almost like a rendering or something. Again, there's too many of them down here to really suggest. It's still a mystery, no one knows. So if anyone knows, let's have your theories. That looks like it's been eaten by a woodworm. So if it was a parasite, that's the sort of thing it would do. Attack it at all angles, not in just one spot. But my favourite theory is they used to be farmed. You'd pierce a hole through them, and you'd hang them all on a string, and you hang them from wooden racks, and that encouraged other oysters to come along and suck off them, or however they do, multiply next to them. And these would all be on strings hanging on ropes in the Thames, and they would farm them. That's what I think they're for. But if anyone's got any other theories, let's have them. But anyway, on to Richard's finds.
Am I doing talking? Okay.
No, yeah, well, you can. I can talk to you.
So we've got a 10 pence, a couple of little buttons. I think it's some kind of lead weight maybe.
Yeah.
Not sure. Is it a George? Is it?
Yeah, George V maybe.
Yeah.
Penny.
Yep.
Cool.
We've got a worn out halfpenny, I think it is.
Yep.
Maybe.
Georgian halfpenny. Nice button there. Nice
little buttons.
naval button.
We've got here. We've got some wording on this one.
Oh, yeah, it's another button.
Can't quite work out what it says though. You see it? Part of an old oil lamp,
Yeah,
we believe.
oil burner or something like that.
Some more buttons. We're not sure about this one, whether there's anything on there or not, or whether it's just a piece of lead. 5p, another piece of lead. Little tiny piece of jewellery, I think. What is it?
Yeah.
Not sure what it is. And then this necklace at the end.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah. So,
Does it have any hallmarks on the back or anything?
not what I can see.
And it's just, there's no picture, is it? It's a jewel
some
or
kind
something,
of
is
like
it?
stone in the middle.
Fancy jewel. That's
Old
nice though, isn't
fashioned.
it? Yeah, I think you're looking, it's got to be Victorian or just around early 20th century, isn't it? Nice
I
find.
think it would have been on a kid, because it's quite a small chain.
Is it complete, the chain, or is it snapped
So
off?
we got a little bit at the end, but there's no.
Yeah, maybe a child's one then. Very dainty, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it.
Nice one. And the other thing I want to find out is what this thing is. I don't know. It looks like it might be pewter. It's really thin. It reminds me of sort of the same sort of pewter plates, the toy plates we get, but I don't really know if it is anything or if it's just a bit of tat. There's a little bump there. Could be the base off a pot or don't know, a top of something, or maybe a button. But there's no shank mark or anything. It's really smooth on one side. On the other side, it's got a little bump. And if anyone knows what that is, I might be leaving that here because it's just a curious tool. I thought maybe it was a catapult, but not really. I don't know. It could be one of those. I don't know. It's one of those thingy bobs. It's got a little bit of a noggin there. Never seen one of them before. Anyway. Oh, there's a little bell thing as well. I think it's a bell. It's so light though. I don't think it is a bell. I think it's maybe a toy bell or maybe a Christmas decoration sort of thing. It's not actually intended as a bell, is it?
No. I think you might be right. Like a Christmas decoration more than anything
Maybe, yeah. Nice one. So here is the button, all cleaned up. I can reveal it is silver, and it has been hand engraved by the looks of things. And so it occurred to me, if this button is older than 300 years old, then it's treasure. But I can't work out how old it is, so what I will do is take it to the Museum of London, and they can tell me if it's treasure or not. But I'm still not quite sure, so if anybody knows, if anyone's got any links they want to share or any opinions, then please write it in the comments, and I'd love to know your opinion. Thanks guys.